Okay, the next problem is uh, to find the sum of two distances. Okay, so these distances are in let's say feet and inches. Okay, so feet and inches, they are there in that format, and what we need to do is we need to accept two distances and add them together. Okay, so let's start. Include iostream.h hash include conio.h hash include string.h. Although why we would require string, not sure, so let's unnecessarily not, let's not include it. And let's see what happens. Okay, void main. Okay, now let's define a structure called distance. Okay, and this distance would have two data members. One is int in feet and float in inches. Okay, feet and inches. Okay, now we require two variables, right, and a third variable to store the result of adding these two distances. So distance d1 comma d2 comma d3, right? So now what we need to do is accept the distance 1 and distance 2. So cout, enter the distance, let's say first distance in feet and inches. Okay, seen d1 dot feet, remember, and d1 dot inches. Okay, similarly enter the second distance in feet and inches. I think, okay, right? So seen, now what, d2 dot feet and d2 dot inches. Okay, now we have got two distances. Now we need to add these two. So as far as inches are concerned, when we add them together, remember, if it is 12 inches or more, then it has to be converted into feet. Okay, so let's see what we need to do is let's add up these two d1 inches and d2 inches, right? So let's say 6 plus 7, 13, right? So it is actually 1 feet 1 inch, right? So what we need to do, and let's say d3 sorry, this is dot inches, and similarly d3 dot feet is equal to 0 to begin with. Now if d3 dot inches is greater than or equal to 12.0, then in that case what do we need to do? What we need to do is if it is greater than or equal to 12, what is the maximum it can be? The maximum it can be is 11.99 plus 11.99, because if it is 12, naturally nobody will enter. Doesn't make sense for inches to be entered in more than 12, more than or equal to 12. So nobody will say 24 inches, right? They will say 2 feet. Nobody will say 1 feet 13 inches. They will say 2 feet 1 inch. Okay, so if it is okay, now d3 dot inches, if it is greater than or equal to 12, then what we need to do is we need to minus 12 from it, so that it becomes, say for example, if it is uh, if the sum of the inches of two distances is 15, let's say, then we need to subtract 12 from it, so it becomes 3 inches, and that 12 inches that we have removed goes as a feet. Okay, so d3 dot inches is equal to d3 dot inches minus 12. Okay, and d3 dot feet plus plus, right? So we add 1 to the feet. Okay, and then d3 dot feet, remember that this started off as 0. It will remain 0 if the sum of the inches is less than 12, but if it is greater than 12, then it becomes 1. So equal to d3 dot feet plus d2 dot feet. Okay, and d3 dot feet plus, this should be actually d1 dot feet. So sum of the first two distances in feet plus whatever is the existing value is all summed up, and it is stored in d3 dot feet. Okay, now we need to, okay, so see out d1 dot feet. Now remember, for feet the symbol is single quote, right? Now single quote has a special meaning here, so we need to put a backslash to display. Okay, and then a dash, and then double quote, right? When we actually run it, you will see. Now d1 dot inches. Now for inches, the symbol is double quotes, right? So again, double quote has a special meaning, so we need to put a backslash and then a double quote and then a dash and then a closing quote. Okay, so that completes this first statement. Not dash, what we need to do is put a plus sign because we are adding it. Okay, so we are adding. Okay, so now we just copy and then paste. Okay, now this becomes d2, right? And this becomes equal to, and now again we paste, right? Now this becomes d3 and d3, and now we don't have to display plus symbol. Okay, and finally this is not required. Is it required? No. So get ch. Now let's see what happens. Let's run it. Errors, declaration syntax error. Distance d1. Okay, let's put it in separate lines. Okay, so distance, okay, and distance d3. Now let's declaration syntax statement missing semi. Oh, here. Okay, so which means this was okay. D2, D3. Okay, in which case we don't require this. Now let's run this. Okay, statement missing. Here we have missed one semicolon. Okay, so let's say 4 feet and 9 inches. Okay, and let's say 9 feet 9 feet and say 10 inches. Okay, so what should it be? What should be the answer before we press enter? 10 plus 9, 19 inches. So 19 inches is what? 19 minus 12 is 7. So it is 1 feet 7 inches. So 1 gets added. So 14 feet 7 inches. The answer should be, okay, 14 feet 7 inches. Correct? Okay, great. Okay, so that is a successful run of the program. So let's save it, and let's save it in source, and let's name it as feet inch. Okay, and let's close this and let's quit.